Hi folks, this is the Pareto chart, another quality improvement tool, and this is a link to where you can do a little bit of reading on the Pareto chart. There's another page which I will make a link for you also on the ASQ website where you could see a couple of examples. I want to use this example first because it is easy to see on the video. So this is maybe some pizza delivery service. And Joe, Ricardo, Danny, and Stephanie are some pizza delivery people. They are the main pizza delivery people. After that, there are just a few people that, we just call if it's Super Bowl night or something, and that we know there's going to be a whole bunch of orders, so we just get anybody off of Craigslist to help us. That's what others is, right? Now, notice that this is a delivery delays chart, so the higher the bar is, the higher the green bar is, that means there were more complaints about delivery delays. These are not complaints about, pizza. These are complaints about time. So anyways, you have to organize your data when you make the Pareto chart so that you have the biggest factor, which is Joe, first, and then the next, and then the next, and the next. Notice this others is kind of out of order. Shouldn't it be over here between Ricardo and Danny? Yes, except for the fact that others is really a whole bunch of other people, like Susan, Manuel, Sue Lin, and Ping. Those were the others, and the contribution from each of those people was smaller than Stephanie. So that's why the others, this big fat bar, is over here. It really just summarizes or puts into one bucket the very, very tiny bars from all those other people that we just get randomly from Craigslist whenever the orders get too voluminous. So generally, you have to organize your factors. So we're calling these things factors. In a Pareto chart, the x-axis is the factors. The factors of defects or poor quality. So you organize your factors in a rank from biggest factor to lowest factor, right? If you have some miscellaneous category, you can just put that at the end. Nobody cares about that. So I just said that nobody cares about the miscellaneous factors. Now, why would that be? That is because the whole point of the Pareto chart is for you to go see very easily which factors you can tackle to get rid of 80% of the problem. I'm going to say that again. Which factors you can tackle to get rid of 80% of the problem. The thing is, usually in a business situation, 80% of the problem with your quality is coming from 20% of the factors. That is called the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is famous in economics and in business, and there are different people who are supposed to have come up with the 80-20 rule, but for the American Society of Quality, we give credit to Dr. Duran for the Pareto chart. Now, it's important to know these terms here. Vital few. That's the 20% of the factors, and the trivial many. That's the rest of the factors. All right. So the vital few, 20% of our factors, are going to be causing 80% of the problem. So we do not focus our efforts in quality improvement on fixing the trivial many, Danny, Stephanie, the others. We focus our efforts on the vital few, which in this case would be Joe and Ricardo. Now, 2 out of 5 factors, that's actually 40%. So this particular example doesn't really fit the 80-20 rule, but generally we want the we want to solve the factors that cause 80% of the problem. Right now, that's why we have this line graph here. These are cumulative totals represented in each data point of the line graph. So what I mean is that Joe is responsible for 42% of the problem. Ricardo is not responsible for 75% of the problem. What this 75% means is that Joe and Ricardo together are responsible for 75% of the problem. Danny is not responsible for 83% of the problem. This dot means that Danny and Ricardo and Joe are responsible for 83% of the problem, right? Now, if this were my business, I would want to solve 80% of the problem. But see, the way these data have fallen on this graph, it looks like most of the problem is from Joe and Ricardo. So I'm just going to round this up, and I'm going to say I'm going to focus on Joe and Ricardo only. That will solve 75% of the problem for me, right? And then I'll see what happens from there. I mean, in real life, if you solve a problem with Joe and Ricardo, Danny might notice, right? And then Danny might step it up, and that might get me the 80% that I wanted. So as a trial, I'm going to figure out what's going on with Joe and Ricardo, okay? Now, how do you do that? How do you figure out what's going on with Joe and Ricardo? You want to do a root cause analysis. Tell me, what is the quality improvement tool that can give you the root cause analysis? I'll ask that as a question on the homework. Now, after you find the root cause using your root cause analysis tool, you have to go figure out how to solve that, right? Now, you just brainstorm for some ideas how to solve that, right? And then you do a PDCA. You draw a PDCA diagram to solve the root cause problem happening with Joe and with Ricardo. You do a PDCA, yes. And then in your check part of your PDCA, what tool do you use there? In the check part, you have to use a checklist. And we have not made a checklist as an assignment yet, but we will soon, right? So all these tools are now coming together. So let me show you how to use Google Sheets for this, because some of you might not have access to Microsoft Excel at home. And I say that only because we at ELAC have lent some students Chromebooks. And there's no Microsoft Excel on the Chromebook. Now, I don't know if any of you have borrowed one of our Chromebooks, but just in case you have, I have to show you how to do this on Google Sheets. All right, so here's how you do it on Google Sheets. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a separate video to show you how to do this on Google Sheets. So I'm going to stop this video and make a new video.